start our stretching with the figure 4 stretch and begin by placing our ankle across our knee and lie down on our back, grabbing the knee and pulling the leg close to our body. Remember to keep the core engaged and to control your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. We will do 30 seconds on each side, feeling this stretch deep in the hips. This might be uncomfortable for some. If we are unable to pull the leg close to us and it's a little bit tighter on one side than the other, that is completely normal. Just continue to hold for that 30 and to focus on your breath as the body relaxes and you're able to move a little bit more. Once we do 30 seconds on each side, we will transition into the next stretch, which is our seated hamstring stretch. So for the seated hamstring stretch, we will perform one leg straight out and locked out while the other one is bent and pulled in close to us. Remember to sit up as tall as you can, keeping a neutral spine, and reach out toward your foot. Now, the further you get just determines on how much range of motion we have within our stretch. The idea is to feel this stretch on the back of the leg, and we'll do 30 seconds on one side and switch to the other. We want to have good posture when we do this so we can focus the stretch right on the hamstring. It's not necessarily how far we're able to get down on the leg, but we want to be able to see improvement over time where we're able to reach lower and lower on the leg while keeping a neutral spine. We'll perform 30 seconds stretch on each side and move on to the next stretch from here. And that will be the half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Now, the half kneeling hip flexor stretch will get up on one knee, pull the core in nice and tight. As you can see, we drive our body forward. Not just arching the back and our hips forward, we'll shift our body weight forward and feel the stretch coming up the leg, front part of the leg and into the hip. Control your breathing and hold this position for 30 seconds. If we're feeling a lot of pain in the knee, we can shift our weight back a little bit and just tighten the muscles a little bit more. And that'll give us a nice deep stretch while alleviating some of that pressure on that knee. Once you do 30 seconds, we switch sides and we'll perform the same stretch on this side. Remember that each side might feel different than the other. That is completely natural. Just continue to do what you're able to do stretch wise on each side. Again, we're only doing 30 seconds on each side. If you feel a stretch needs more, you're able to do so later on. After this stretch, we'll move into the child's pose with threading on the needle. To perform this one, we'll sit down back on our ankles, reach one arm out overhead, and the other arm we will rotate through, threading a needle and holding this position. For this, we would like for you to make sure you're reaching each arm in each direction as far as you can and your hips back as far as you can, trying to create as much space. Again, your breathing is going to be very important to concentrate on as we will be able to move deeper into the stretch the more mobility we get. I'm only going to do 30 seconds on each side. Remember to sit and control your breath, and if you're able to reach and stretch a little bit further, continue to reach and stretch. Once you're finished with 30 seconds on each side, we'll be moving on to our fifth and final stretch, which we'll get up off the floor and get into a doorway, or as we have here, a squat rack, and do our upper body and chest stretch. So from here, I have my elbow lifted above my shoulder around the eye height. That's going to create a good angle for that shoulder muscle. And we are going to drive our body forward, keeping the core tight and the shoulders square to our hips, allowing for a deep stretch coming up the armpit and into the arm, getting the chest and front deltoid. Once we hit 30 seconds, you will see we'll rotate to the other side, performing the same stretch on this side as well. Remember to keep the elbow at eye height or above the shoulder. For those feeling or experiencing any pain during this, just take a step back. Don't have to feel pain in stretching. Stretching should feel a little uncomfortable, but ultimately make you feel better after. Control your breath. And once we hit 30 seconds on each side, we will be done with our stretching. And that's all we have. You guys have a great day. We'll start our stretching with the figure 4 stretch and begin